I wanted to make a short little video, sort of inspired by my fellow massage therapists, because we do an awful lot with our hands and with the muscles in our forearms. And so, anyway, this is especially inspired and dedicated to massage therapists. But even if you're not a massage therapist and you have hands, you have arms, you do stuff with them, this could be very helpful for you. So I'm going to offer a bunch of different things. Feel free to do one or all, depending on how you're feeling, what your time situation is like, but we'll try to keep it short and we'll try to keep it sweet. So one of the first things we can do is just start to warm things up by moving the fingers around. You can scrunch into a fist and spread the fingers wide. And try to do this slowly. You can maybe do it slowly at first and then start to speed it up. But when you do things slower, you can really start to feel, like now start to wiggle your fingers, do a real exaggerated kind of movement, and you can really start to feel all those forearm muscles moving. All right, and then give that a good shake out. And make your hands into fists, and let's make some wrist circles here. Just circling, and then go the other direction. Remembering to breathe as you do this. And remember, the slower that you do stuff, the more mindfully, the more you can avoid injuries. So remember to use your head, use your senses, and if something does not feel right to you, please do not do it. So then from there, you can extend your arms out in front of you, or if extending your arms at shoulder height is uncomfortable, you can also bring it down, bring the elbows in by the sides, and try it this way. So you can try both ways. But so extend the arms out in front of you, and then start to, with the palms extended outwards, then start to turn the palms down, bending at the wrist. And when you bend all the way at the wrist, or as much as is comfortable for you, then start to curl your fingers under. So making a bit of a fist there. And then unfurl and unwind and flex at the wrist. Or extend. I can't remember right now. So move through this a few times, gathering in, making the fist, and then unwinding and showing the palms in that stop kind of movement. And remember, you can come in, try doing it in by your sides. You could even have it more at a bent situation here. Just try and see what feels right. And do a few of those. Once you've done it slower, you might see what happens if you speed it up a little bit more, make it a little bit more of a flowing kind of movement. And then give yourself a little shake out there. And then arms out in front again, and then turn your palms up, elbow pits towards the ceiling, and then bend all the way up, make the fist this way, and then unwind, unfurl, and see if you can press your palms away. But see if you can keep your shoulders down. So you may not get a big amount of bend at the wrist, but then reverse and curl in and up. So you might even just curl it up into the fist, and then as you unwind, straighten the fingers. Then so when the fingers are straight and the palms press away, then curl the fingers in as if you were almost making like a cinnamon roll with your hands and fingers, and then unfurl, unwind. Remember, you can come back in. And then give a little shake out. Take pauses whenever you need to. We're all at different journeys of hand strength, because we are kind of building some strength in there too. As you can probably feel, we're getting some work into the forearms. So give a good shake out. And then I invite you to straighten your arms a little bit more, and as if you were making like a real frantic kind of a wave. And you can do this one arm at a time, waving and just letting that movement go all the way up the arm into the shoulder. So making it tiny at first, kind of shaking the water balloons of the muscles. So you'll probably get some jiggle here, and that's okay. We're going to jiggle. And so then you can maybe even play with the movement, maybe make it a bigger, kind of a wilder thing, and just see what you can shake out. What can you get into? And then let that go. You can do these both at the same time, or you can do them separately. So you can do the other side. And just to let you know, in case you see a darkness in my elbow pit over here, I just donated blood yesterday, so I've got a little bit of a bruise. So don't be worried. Anyway, a little shake. Make it a little smaller at the beginning, like, hey, 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 you know, and let that go. And then you can make it bigger, and you can make whatever kind of movement, maybe a little movement at the elbow. Because remember, we've got all these joints that move in different ways. So as long as you know that it'll be an okay movement for you, or you give it a shot and see, you can move whatever. Okay. And then give that a pause, and then just pause. And notice how you're feeling. You might feel some tingling, just some vitality. And take a breath or two here. And next we'll come to our hands and knees. All right, so I'm going to show you this on hands and knees, but I will also show or give some options or just ideas about how you can do this if being down on your knees is not the best thing. So you may not see my head when we're doing this, but I'll still be here with you. So if I'm on carpet right here, it sometimes still feels nice to have a blanket down. So I'm going to put a blanket down here for under my knees, and then come down. Bring your hands in front of you, and then turn your fingertips in towards you. So your elbow pits are going to be facing away. And so bring those fingers, bring your hands in a bit closer to your knees. So from here you can see I have my toes curled under, and then I can sit back a little bit onto the heels, or you can have something more underneath you, some bolsters or cushions. You may not even want to come back that far. So with your fingertips pressing in, pointing in towards you, begin to press your palms into the floor. Now, this might already, and I'm going to unfold this just so you can see me a little bit better against the carpet. So there we go. Maybe. So go ahead and press your palms into the floor or the surface that's underneath you. And this might be enough. So this might be quite enough. But if it's not, then you can start to sit back just a little bit, inviting a little bend into the elbows, knowing that that little bend might feel like a whole lot. So be mindful. You don't have to power into this stretch. Take your time. And you will likely feel some release here in the kind of hairless part of the forearm. And so take a few breaths here and check in with your head and neck. Maybe do a little bit of head and neck movements. Just release and soften through the neck, through the face. And when you're ready to start to come out, as you start to lean back more, keep your fingers pressing into the floor. Maybe even, can you bring your thumbs out a little bit further? If not, that's okay. And as you start to come up, start to slowly peel the hand off the floor, peeling it back, keeping your fingers and the knuckles right where they meet the palm. Keep them plugged into the floor. And then your thumbs can come up and away, trying to keep them still stretched out. And then slowly peel the rest of your hands and fingers up. And then give it a little shake out. Maybe pause here for a moment. Let's move to the other side. So now we had the palms down with the fingers in. So now we're still going to have the fingers in, but now the back of the hand is going to come down. And so you'll want to be careful with this because you don't want to put too much pressure here on the wrist. So you'll lean forward just a little bit, and you may want to adjust so that you're not fully on it. You don't want to be putting a lot of weight here. But put your hands down, and what you might notice here is that you have the ability, perhaps, to do a little internal and external rotation here by moving the elbow pits a little bit. So you might try doing that a couple of times just to try that feeling out. And then when you're ready to go more into a little bit more of a concentrated stretch or just stillness, rotate so that your elbow pits are pointing a little bit more forward. So, and then spread your fingers wide, and you might lean back a little bit. And again, invite softness into the neck and shoulders. Take a few breaths. And when you're ready to come out, slowly start to lean back as you gently peel slowly the hands off the floor. And maybe just resting the hands there. Giving a little shake, maybe just a little massage. You might hold the forearm right at the wrist bones and keep the forearms straight, and then do a few circles and do the other side. Just giving a little shake out, and that's about it. So the modifications I was going to suggest are, if you do not feel comfortable on your knees or deeper in your knees in this kind of position, let me give you an example. You have a chair this has some cushioning, but it can still be useful. So what you can do here is, and it depends, you might have maybe first, well, you can't see it now, but maybe you have a yoga block or two that you can just create a little bit more height. So you're still on your knees, but you're not all the way down on the floor. And you could try, maybe you have like a low stool that's smaller than a chair. But if you have a chair, then you can stand up and then try some of these things. So you'd be bending your knees a little bit more and then playing with some of the movement, pressing down into the chair. The same can be done with a massage table. So if you have a massage table, that could be also something that is available. And you can also try against the wall. I'm not sure that it feels quite as good for when you put the back of your hand onto the wall, but I mean, certainly you could try that. Another suggestion, another option is for the one where you stretch the kind of hairier part of the forearm, is that you can bring your hands together in a reverse prayer position so that the backs of the hands are together. And if you see, I'm trying to spread the thumbs apart, widening the thumbs, and you can press and try to keep the backs of the wrists together. And then what you can do is you can try to lower the forearms a bit. And if the backs of the wrists or the palms start to separate, then you've gone a little bit too far and you're not really getting too much. So if up here is where you're feeling the stretch, that's totally cool. So anyway, those are a couple of ideas. I might have some more coming up. So feel free to take one or both, make a little flow out of all of it. And hopefully this helped you feel a little bit better. Have a great day. Bye.